Hey guys, this is your host Eric. Today we are going to watch sci-fi genre movie called Badland Road to Fury. Spoilers ahead, turn on your subtitle. I greatly appreciate your support. Enjoy the video. At the start of the movie, a big baron gets off a ship. Jerome Holmes, a young man, tells us that he has never seen this land when it was green, but that his father has. A long time ago, it was home to a few farmers who grew wheat and other grains. But since there has been drought, not a single plant has been able to grow. Most of the farmers left, but Ernest, Jerome's dad, hoped that the land would grow green again. He still thinks it just needs water, but in this world, people kill each other for water. In the first scene, we see two thieves trying to break into a small house. When Ernest finds them, he kills them. The second robber tries to talk him out of killing him, but he is killed when he secretly pulls out a gun. Jerome, his son, says he could have helped. Muggers broke into a house and found an old water pump that doesn't work when Ernest tries to use it when there's no water left. On a mule, the father and son ride to the watermen, people who work with the government to get water from deep wells. Ernest gives them his supplies in exchange for water. He has been trying to get them to give him water so he can grow crops on a small piece of his land. But the watermen will only do it for the right price, which Ernest can't pay. On the way home, their mule trips and breaks a leg. Ernest shoots the animal even though he doesn't want to. When they get home, Jerome's sister Mary is there to serve them bag food. Because there wasn't enough water, Mary washed the dishes with dirt the next day when Jerome came to see her, to find something to replace the mule. They went to Sam Lever's auction house. Sam is a robot that can carry things. Shadow Sim gets their attention. Ernest wins the auction against Flem Lever, who is also Sam's Flem and is having an affair with Mary, not something Ernest and Jerome knew. The two then go to see Catherine Holmes, who is Jerome's sick mother. She lives in a hospital nearby, where she is wired to a special frame that lets her walk. They can't bring her because the frame costs too much. That day, Jerome spends time with his mother. Ernest and Catherine say goodbye to each other with a kiss. Ernest and Jerome stop at a gas station on their way home. After putting gas in his car, Ernest takes a big gulp of it. They meet a couple with a young child who are asking for water. Robbie wants to sell the baby because they don't have enough money to take care of him, but Ernest tells him not to do that and offers to help them get water. Ernest knows about Flem and Mary's affair because Robbie knows about it. The house. Ernest talks to Mary about how often she sneaks out, but Mary says it's her freedom and tells her father she hates him. She tries to get away, but Ernest locks her in her room and nails the window shut. Ernest and Jerome wake up one morning and find that their robot Sim is not in its shed. Someone had stolen it. Ernest thinks it was Flem and goes home, but Sam tells him that he took a truck to the mountains that morning. Ernest then goes to the watermen to look for him, but they hit him. By the time he wakes up, it is already night. The waterman says that he stole their food and supplies. Ernest says he didn't steal them, but Caleb, who is in charge of them, attacks him. They fight for a while, but Ernest finally gets hold of his gun and runs away. On his way back home, he finds Flem sleeping by the side of the road with Sim. It is clear that he stole the machine and the waterman's supplies. Ernest points the gun at him, holds him as a hostage, and then ties him to the. He wants to show the waterman that he is not guilty by taking Flem back to him. Ernest gets mad when Flem says things about Mary. After a while of walking, they both get thirsty. Ernest drinks water from the waterman's supply because Flem tells him to. They sit down to talk and drink water. Then, Flem tries to talk Ernest into letting him go and splitting the money with him, but Ernest is set on getting him caught. Ernest is weak and limp. He can't walk another mile, that's clear. Flem is aware of this, so he hits Ernest with a stone, causing him to fall down a cliff and hit his head. His head starts to bleed out of control, and he is found to be out of it. When Ernest wakes up, he is tied instead of having Flem on him. Ernest screams as Flem pours water into his mouth. Later, we take Mary to Ernest's house on his motorcycle. She runs out to him with joy. Jerome goes out to look for Ernest because he hasn't come home yet. On the way, he finds the machine by itself. The waterman tells him about Ernest when he gets to him. In the next scene, everyone thinks it was caused by the machine. At Ernest's funeral, we see that everyone is sad about his death. Catherine and the kids cry with her in her hospital bed later. Flem picks them up in his truck when they come out. Since Ernest died, the family now looks to Flem for advice. He calms Jerome down as he hits him for killing Jerome's father. He tells him later that Mary is pregnant with his child and that he loves her. Jerome agrees with their story. Later that day, Flem talks to the waterman about sending water to Ernest's land. Caleb laughs at his idea, but when Flem says that he killed Ernest, he gets angry. Flem also shows him a knife that was found with Ernest's body and had Caleb's name on it. He is afraid of being blamed. Caleb agrees to send water from the river to their field. When the land gets its first drop of water, everyone is happy. Flem works on the land day and night to grow wheat. After a few months, they are both. Flem gets married to Mary and now lives with Jerome and Mary at Ernest's house. One day, his father Sam comes to their house with some bank employees and threatens to take the land. Ernest owes too much money, so Flem can't pay it off. Ernest takes the machine with him and talks to his friend Robbie that night. He knows that Robbie wants to sell his child, so he convinces Robbie to come with him just to see how much a baby can be worth. But when they get there, Robbie finds out that Flem has made a secret deal with the people there to sell him. People try to get the baby away from them. Robbie fought back, so Flynn shot him to death. This leads to a fight between the dealers, and Flynn takes the money and runs. But the robot Sim has been shot and hurt. This turns on the machine's automatic mode, which makes it go back to its maker, Calvin Hoyman. The next day, Flynn pays the bank with the money he got from selling the child. Jerome thinks the money came from selling Sim, so no one will look into it. In the next scene, Sim is seen with a limp. It will get back to Calvin, who lives on the other side of the border. Cal calls the number on the Sim and ends up at Holmes's house. He tells Jerome that the machine is coming back to him, which surprises Jerome because Flem told him that he sold it to Robbie. Jerome asks Flem if Robbie sold Sim's parts and if it's made to the owner, but Flem gets mad at him for asking. Then he tells them he is going to meet his mother that night, but he really plans to cross the border to meet Calvin, who makes Sim. Later, he gets to the border, but the guard tells him he can't cross because he's too young. Anna, a girl, calls him over and says she knows a way for him to get to the other side if he gives her money. She sends him over by putting him in a car with chickens. When they get to the other side, they meet up again and then split up. Jerome goes to me, and Calvin goes to him. Calvin shows him how everything works. He also shows that the machine's eyes are cameras made to take pictures of the slope so that it can be replanted with trees. All that the machine has seen has been caught on camera. As Jerome listens to the recordings, he remembers his time with Ernest. He is shocked to find out that Flem killed Ernest on that day. After Ernest woke up, the Flem tied him to the machine and told it to go to the waterman. The machine had pulled and hurt him, but he was still alive. By the end of the video, Jerome's eyes are filled with tears. When it got dark, when he gets back home, he doesn't talk to Flem about anything. Dale and Jerome go hunting for deer. And when they're done, Jerome keeps the rifle and hides it under his bed for the future. Jerome tells Flem about Robbie at breakfast. Flem is surprised and says that Jerome is lying because he knows that Robbie is already dead. In the future, Flea gets a letter from Jerome. In the letter, Flem is asked to meet Rob at the same spot. He has killed Ernest. He doesn't know what to think about this, so he decides to find out if Rob is still alive. Later that night, when Mary is still pregnant, Flynn tells her that he has to go sell something. Mary tells him to have good luck and to come back soon. Flem calls for Robbie when he gets to the place. As he walks, he trips and falls into a hole, breaking both of his legs. He lies. When Jerome walks up to him while they're calling for help, Flem breathes a sigh of relief and asks, but Jerome just stands there holding a rock. Flem realizes that he knows everything that happened and apologizes to him, saying it was all an accident. He begs him to let him live so he can be with Mary and their baby, but Jerome doesn't listen. He points the gun at the Flem and kills it. Mary is worried about her husband since the event happened 2 days ago, but Jerome told her to wait a little longer. He has decided to keep both Ernest and flee from Mary. Mary says they should bring their mother home now that they have enough money to buy the ringing system. She has a home. At the end of the movie, Jerome deletes all of Sim's video memories. We really appreciate you watching. If you enjoy this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell because it is really important for us. Thank you.